and welcome to Ghostly Activities. I am your host, Jacob Rice. Thank you for joining us and tuning in on this YouTube video as well as the podcast. And on today's episode, we'll be talking about a spooky travel to St. Ignatius Hospital, one of the Pacific Northwest's spookiest and notoriously haunted places, way out east in Colfax, Washington, which is, over by Spokane. If you don't know the area, if you don't know where that is, we're getting closer to Idaho, people. Anyway, today we have ParaNorthwest with Shayla and Cheyenne, as well as Mike from the Paranormal Roadtrippers.
Hi, Jake.
Hi, Mike. Hi, ladies.
Hi. How are you?
Oh, fine and dandy on this Friday, spooky, gray, dark, creepy Friday night.
You wanted us here.
Dude,
Anyone?
You got us.
got us.
Love it. Look at this. I have just walked upon a very intimidating location. St. Ignatius Hospital in Colfax, Washington. Bucket list haunt. The history, the stories, the paranormal activity. It's pretty extreme, so they say. I know Ghost Adventures has been here, and they had a lot of activity. It's myself, the ParaNorthwest, and Lou. We're going to be here all night, talking to the ghosts, talking to the tour guide, and doing what we do. Now, it's time to go. Get in there.
References all throws out. We'll be calling Mike from the Paranormal Road Trippers Mike and or Merle throughout this program. Just realize it's the same person. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So with that, Shayla, I'm going to kick off with you. So
Yes.
what inspired you to go on this spooky adventure to St. Ignatius?
Well, this is a hot spot for our area for sure. But I have been there previously. And so it had been many years ago I had went there. And then I'm so glad I got to revisit because Cheyenne and I really wanted to go together, and even better that we got to go with Mike. So,
Okay. And Merle.
That was my second time going to St. Ignatius as well. The first time I was with a team that I was assisting, and it was really cool because I got some access to it on my own for a while when I was with them. Second time was great because, again, with ParaNorthwest, when we combine as a joint task force, it's a force to be reckoned with, Jake. And it was a great time. We actually had, it was just six of us, was it six-ish?
Yeah.
yeah.
And we had the whole place to ourselves, and they gave us like an extra hour and a half just to do what we wanted to do. Cause yeah, about an hour and a half, and
Yeah.
it's one of the coolest places I've been to. It's a bucket list for a lot of the paranormal people because it has been on all the TV shows, and it's famously haunted that way, and it's pretty spooky in there. It's exactly what you think it would look like.
Okay, Cheyenne.
Yeah. It was my first time there. So, of course, previously heard about it on Ghost Adventures. I thought it was cool that it was just so close to Spokane, which is where we live. Um, and when we got the opportunity, I jumped on that immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Just knowing that Shayla had been there once before, it's just a place we all wanted to go.
So this is perfect then. So back to you, Cheyenne.
Yeah.
What were your first impressions?
Um, I expected it to be a little bit more ran down than what it was. So when I came in there, it was actually a little bit more cleaner than I thought. The outside has a bunch of statues, and that was really creepy to me. I wasn't expecting that. There was a Jesus statue, and then a few other statues of, I'm guessing, it's like Samaritans, basically. So that was creepy. I was not expecting that. Yeah, it was creepy. Overall, it's like someone's watching you, but no one's there.
Okay.
That was the first impressions.
And then Cheyenne, compared to your first visit to the second time, what did you think?
Um, I thought it was eerie. I will say the first time that I went there, felt way different than this time. And so that kind of it was very different. My first impressions walking in this time around, it feels very sorrow. There's a lot of sorrow, like a lot of sadness and depression there, I felt. Um, Even just walking in, like your first immediate reaction walking in that building, it's just pure eeriness. Just still. It's just, I don't know. It's weird. It's untouched piece of history.
True. And Mike, for you on your second visit.
I found it a lot different. I found the first time was a little heavier than this time. When I say heavier, I think that there's been a lot of teams going through there from then until now. So there's a lot of different energies. There's a lot of different people doing their ghost hunting or their witch stuff or putting their energy or intent into this place while they're there. But I also know that they keep a close eye on the energies and the ghosts that lurk in the hallways at St. Ignatius. So I felt the nuns' quarters creepy. I felt the basement creepy. There were times where I would tell myself, "Well, I could go walk around, no problem," because I really wanted to do that. But then I'm like, maybe not. Just because like Shayla said, you kind of feel watched when you're there. You kind
Mhm.
of feel like someone's following you, maybe at a distance, just to see what you're up to. Because that was a home to many people that died in there.
Mhm.
It's true.
And
Yeah.
so when you go into people's houses, they want to know why and what you're doing. And I think that's a lot of the energy you feel there.
Mhm. So, Cheyenne, since you were all new to it again,
Hmm.
were there any spots in the hospital that really stood out to you for spooky, eerie?
But the nuns' quarters, it just has a different scent to it. I don't know. Even the staircase, I felt dizzy going up. Sometimes I feel a little bit of vertigo in highly charged areas
Mhm.
It
when I'm
almost it almost felt like a completely different place.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like
Well, I was
energy wise.
confused.
Yeah.
I was confused at first when I went up the first time, and for some reason, I thought there was area of the building that just had no building. It was just exposed to outside. And then the second time I went up, I was like, no, this isn't exposed to outside. So there was like some strange confusion in the hallway where I thought it was just full exposure to outside. But yeah, I still don't know. I still can't figure that one out.
Okay. Shayla, for you, which places did you think were the eeriest, spookiest parts of the hospital?
I would have to agree. The nuns' quarters, for me, yeah, it feels detached from
Mhm.
the rest of the building. That it
Mhm.
does feel that way. And I don't know if it's because maybe somebody lived there, like a whole family lived there at one time. I'm not sure if that's why. Um, but yeah, that in the basement for me, the basement was very spooky.
So,
Okay.
Mike, for
Yeah.
you, the your most unsettling experience at the hospital.
Oh. Um would have been when Shayla Miles and I went up to the nuns' quarters. And when I was going up the stairs with my camera, I swear to Jesus, since we were there, um, I saw what looked like a shadow person in a long cloak, maybe like what a nun would wear or a priest, kind of scurry across from room to room, and it it was terrifying because I saw it. We had the classic temperature dip, a little thing, a little bit like that. I know Miles and Shayla were both saying how they kind of felt a little off upstairs as well, and just the whole tone in the nuns' quarters, like with the posters and just the walls. It looks like a horror movie, so maybe that was in my head as well. But seeing the actual shadow figure fully like I see you, Jake, go from room to room, what was unsettling and made me really hesitant to go up there. Like if I didn't have the two of them with me because they're people I trust in like our community. Or if Cheyenne was up there, I don't think I would have kept going. I would have pulled back. And that also kept me in check just to realize that, yeah, we're having a cool, fun friend night investigating this wicked place, but you do see things like that can change your tone or change your perspective on of how haunted the place actually is.
You hear a lot about Rosie's room. Rosie,
Hmm.
Yes.
I believe it's on the second floor. I could be wrong. It might be on the third. I think it's room 310, actually.
Yep. Yep.
There's a lot of legend with Rosie, but I saw pictures of you guys investigating in there, and Cheyenne, you were doing some live listening. What were you hearing through that room?
Okay, this is so strange, and this has never happened to me on an investigation. So I was live listening, and I was with Shayla, Mike. No, we were actually all together.
All of
Lou,
us, yeah.
yeah, all the investigators. We were all together in a room, and Mike was like, I visibly saw Mike talking, but I heard Miles's voice. It was like a little glitch in the Matrix. That's the best way to describe it. I saw visibly Mike talking, but I was hearing Miles's voice say everything that you were actually saying. It was the strangest thing. I don't know how to describe it. That's like the best to my ability I can describe it. And so it kind of tripped me up a little bit. I was like, whoa, why is this? Yeah. And I'm like, is this just like an effect from being here? Especially since that's never happened to me before.
I read something about the basement, and there was some oddness you experienced there. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so um Cheyenne, Mike, Miles, and myself were in the basement and we were just using some equipment we had out and we were kind of sitting in the circle. And as you come down the stairs to the basement, there is a giant hole in the wall. I mean, the whole wall is like a hole.
Dug up. It's literally
Creepy.
pipes and dirt.
Yeah. And so we kind of came around the corner and settled. And Mike and I heard it. I know for sure, clear as day. It sounded like either like a clearing of the throat, like a male, or like maybe someone getting up or sitting down and making like a groaning sound.
Yes, I remember hearing that.
Yeah. And then Cheyenne also felt a tap on her head.
Yeah, it was like the tiniest of taps, just like a bonk. Um,
A little
yeah,
boop, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then when I was actually reviewing footage when we were in the basement, there was like a sound almost like a bang or a door rattling that we did not hear in person, but it caught it on video.
You understanding the history of the place, how did that influence your investigating?
Oh boy. I feel like, I don't know, there is just so much. I feel like this specific location hits every single facet of the paranormal. And I think that's what makes it stand out and why St. Ignatius is the top 7 hospital in, all of the US for being haunted. Like that's insane. Um, I think there's a lot of residents that are still there.
Yeah.
Whether they live there, in the early 2000s, right before it closed, with the mental health facility, tuberculosis. I mean, it had so many sicknesses. It had elderly people.
Mhm. Babies.
I know there was births, deaths, and suicides. I mean, you can't really.
It's kind of a mix, an unfortunate mix,
Yeah.
you know? I went in there personally with an open mind, just how I would with every investigation. Um, of course, I want to, get a little scared. I mean, who doesn't?
So would you.
Um, but yeah, I just went in with an open mind. I was excited. I was eager. Maybe that scared away the spirits because it was a little bit quiet. but it's okay.
And I will say too, I think that, like Mike was saying, all the investigators over the years going through there and like people's
Mhm.
fear of a location, I think that also still lingers.
Yeah.
And Val told a story of like a man doing some sort of conjuring some sort of weird shadow figure that ran or floated down the hallway at St. Ignatius. And people doing that stuff because when you rent this place out, you're on your own. Val just sits in the warm room watching the
Right.
cameras or like preparing her store or probably just doing whatever she does, right? Because she has another store too. And you have free run of the place. So I think there's a lot of things people have done there or conjured there or put their stamp on because they're so needing that paranormal reaction to get the clip to get because a lot of influences go through there too and they need the shot
Hmm.
and a lot will do what it takes even if it's ruffling feathers disrespectfully or some sort of magic or I think that happens in the hallways there more often than not.
Provoking.
um
Yeah.
and one thing I really appreciated being at St. Ignatius was how you can see Val cares about the place and she cares about the people that stayed, lived there, died there, worked there. Because she even leaves a list out for you of patients' names, of doctors' names.
Yeah.
If you want to try and talk to people by name, she supplies that instead of saying, "Is there an evil demon from the operating room, bro?" You can call it by name at least, right?
Yeah, that always helps to connect to the spirits. Shayla,
Yeah.
wanted to add something?
Yeah, I just want to say Val made that investigation.
Oh,
Like,
100%.
Yep.
because you couldn't ask for a better like guide. I mean,
Absolutely.
she made it so personal because she knew all the people there and she was also born there. And so there was just this kind of strange connection that she had to the building and that I don't know. It was really interesting. I thought it was great.
Me too. She had history, stories, background of it all. She knew it backwards and front.
Mhm. So,
And Jake,
folks,
she
that
supplied so many gadgets if you wanted to use them. So
what?
many.
They had gadgets?
Yes.
Oh, when I went, I had to bring my 3 suitcases of gadgets.
We had a fair share of our own
Oh,
stuff
okay.
there. I'll be real.
We're
Minus a
gadget
camera.
bros, including the ladies. We're gadget bros.
I love
I
that.
love that too.
Uh, just for our gentle listeners, it's Val Gregory, I believe. Gregory is her last name. And
Yes.
if you book a tour, and they offer a variety of tours, Val will be the one that like processes your order and contacts you about everything. So she's absolutely lovely lady. She gave me access to the old like boiler rooms when I was there. I could do
Ooh.
Nice.
an urban exploration throughout. But as we close up here, my question, and we'll go to you, Mike, first, is if you went back to St. Ignatius tomorrow, what would you do differently from this past time?
Um, well, I'd want the same cast with me for sure. Um, so we'd load up the Subaru and head out to St. Ignatius, and I think we would maybe a couple structured experiments, like in Rosie's room and in Michael's room, where I liked how we explored and we were a group the night we were there, and but I would like to maybe if we were filming it, I would like to split the teams up thinner and maybe have some of the investigators watching from the camera downstairs while like say like me and Cheyenne or Shayla and Cheyenne are upstairs conducting an investigation with different types of equipment um just for I think it would be well it'd be creepier but I think there would be it would just be a lot cleaner. I just want to try a ton of experiments in different rooms. I would want to really play off a lot of the spirits' names, which we did. We were calling them by names in the rooms, but I like in Michael's room. Apparently, he doesn't like women being in there, so that would be a cool one to have like Shayla and Cheyenne in there, and try and talk to Michael that way with maybe like myself or Miles or whomever is with us holding a camera on them where we're not taking part. It's all the ladies doing it. Where like I could go into Rosie's room with and try and chat to her, bring her a beer because apparently she liked Coors Banquet, and cigarettes. So we could put one of those on there too. Sidebar, Shayla, talk about your famous cigarette.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'll be-
Jake, you need to hear this. We have a celebrity on our hands.
Yeah. Yeah,
No big deal.
You guys do. I'm sorry. No, so there is, the famous Ghost Adventures episode when they go in there and they find the cigarette on her TV. That was my cigarette that I left there
Oh, wow.
before Ghost Adventures went. Yeah, and so that's my claim to fame.
Period.
You are part of paranormal TV history.
Yeah, so I made sure when we signed ParaNorthwest team on the little door that they have you can sign, I signed right under Ghost Adventures, so they knew.
Yep.
They knew
They knew.
who was the real one there first,
Absolutely.
Golf claps all around.
But yeah,
Oops.
I like to try a lot of really controlled experiments. That's what I would do differently.
Okay. And then Cheyenne?
I agree. For some reason, that night did not go as planned whatsoever. We completely did not bring our camera or our gear. That just completely got left at home. So that would be number one.
Rookie mistake.
Obviously, we would be trekking our way in the Subaru, and agreed, doing more experiments, whether it be Estes or Gansfeld, and going to the morgue. That's something we just didn't end up getting
Didn't do
to
it,
do.
yeah.
We were busy. We stayed busy the entire time. So going to the morgue and investigating there. That's what's to come.
Okay.
Mm.
And then Shayla, besides leaving more cigarettes around.
Yeah. So I would say, honestly, just, yeah, probably more structure. I feel like walking in the building, we were just all in so much awe and wanted to just like go explore and go see everything
Yeah.
really quick. But the place is so big that we didn't get as many like structured little, investigations and stuff like that. So, but we will be back.
Yeah, I loved our time there, but there's just so much stuff to see and do. Like it's like I could spend half my time in the nuns' quarters because it just feels active and aesthetically it looks nice for cameras.
Oh yeah.
And then like when we were in the kitchen, even there were so many like little submissions we did when we were all in the kitchen. Shayla has a device that kept saying words that were pertaining to what we were talking about. We had like the little cat ball go off in there to when we were talking. It's just so active, and you can't hit a place like that once. Like Val said, Ghost Adventures were there for 8 days.
Oh,
Which is insane. Yeah.
Like normally they go, from what I've heard, for 4 days per location, and that includes like a B-roll day. But these guys were there for 8 days doing what they do, and I could see that. Like I'm like, dang, there's a lot to cover in here. If you want to tell the stories, but like it was really cool to explore it and experience it. But yeah, there will 100% be a part two.
okay. And then before we sign,
Andy.
any final bits to talk about your spooky road trip? Like I know for sure I need to know what you would order at Zips.
I would order the chicken strips again, and you got to break them in half to cool them down, and then you got to have
Always.
the tartar sauce with the French fries, or Shayla will strike you.
Yeah.
For me, I'm a fry sauce gal with the chicken strips. I actually had zips last night. Had the chicken strips.
Did you break them in half?
Absolutely, every single piece.
They also make a good shake.
Yes, I usually get the root beer shake. That hits home. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I depends on the mood that I'm in. I'm either a tub of fry kind of gal or a chicken strip.
And when we mean tub of fry, we literally mean a tub of fries.
Yeah.
It's like a little
Fair.
pail. Yeah.
Love it.
Okay, folks. Well, thank you for tuning in. And if you're interested in booking a tour at St. Ignatius, this is not sponsored by St. Ignatius. The crew paid for everything on their own, but I'll put a link so you can see the website where you can book. I know they've got slots open through the rest of the year, through December, up to December. I did check just in case I go. And with that, thank you, ParaNorthwest. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us. And we can't wait to actually meet you in real life soon.
September.
I'm hoping September.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll do spooky stuff. We'll do monsters. We'll do UFOs. It'll be amazing.
Yes.
Can't
Okay.
wait.
Take care.
You too.